Alright guys, happy Thursday. Let me pull up the window, make sure we're live. Alright, let's talk about a couple things that we did this morning in the membership area. So the first thing is we did one of our old school bass lines, and that's simply C, E, G, and then B flats. We're going up to the flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. The great thing about this specific bass line is you just do a C7 chord, C, E, G, B flat, and then at the top you do a 4 and. So I'll do it up the octave just so you guys can see this. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. That 4 and is really important. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2. And notice that I'm doing left hand only. That gives me some muscle memory going. So we did a lot of practicing with that specific bass line. The other thing that we did is we talked about a trill for old school blues. So we had this going. And then we did something like da 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 da. And then we went over a whole strategy to actually play that so where you don't even have to think about what notes you're using. I have a video, sorry, not the notes you're using, but the rhythm. Once you get this trill going and you learn how to do it, you don't even have to think about 1 and 2 and 3 or triplets. You just get that going, and I use fingers 2 and 4 with that. The good news is this afternoon, I'm actually going to do a condensed version of our membership stream. Let me just actually stop the metronome for just a second. And you're going to get a condensed version of the lesson this morning, so where I actually will teach you how to play this trill and actually put it with the music. And basically it boils down to this. At first we do eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I teach you how to lock those up, and then after we practice that, then we do triplets. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then. So there's a whole way to learn how to play these kind of trills for that old school blues feeling. But today what I wanted to do is continue on with the last part of the lesson this morning, and that is when you start using your comping chords, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, or like this, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. The and of 4 is another place where you think about locking up the hands. 1, and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3. And then once you get this muscle memory built up, when you go to the F chord, it's the same exact shape on F. 2, 3, 4. And back to C. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. And then on G, same shape, just different notes. Okay, now, in addition to the comping chords, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, we're actually going to play a simple blues that was part of the lesson this morning. So we did, if you play your comping chords in between the notes, but you have a melody like a G on top, and maybe we're going to do the first 5 notes of the blues scale, but our lick is going to be ba, ba da 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 dum. So kind of a little bit on the jazzy side, if you said, E is our target note, and we're going to do an enclosure. And we enclose, so the note above and the note below, and we arrive at our third, major third of the C scale. And we go, ba. Over F, same thing. And on G, F, one more time, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 2, 3 and F, and G, slow it down, 2, 3. So if you notice that I did the first 5 notes of the blues scale, but I'm actually just coming down the pattern da 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 da, and just as a something I'm doing on purpose, I'm repeating this idea ba da 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 da, and notice that it works over every single chord. Ba 2 3 4 and 1 2 3 and 4 and 1 1 and 2 3 and 4, and even when I go to the F chord, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 3 and 4 and 1 2. Same thing on G, F, 2 and 3 and 4. So comping in the middle, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 and 4, 2 and 3 and. And at the end, I'm just doing C, E, F, F sharp, and G. And we start over. Okay, so let's actually dig in just a little bit on how we learn how to do this kind of thing. The first thing, as we break this down, is C, E, G, B flat. We have to get this going 1, 2, 3, 4, and we talk all the time about, in order to play anything, you play it slow and straight. So I can play this by going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And let me actually turn on the metronome for this. 2, 3, and let's actually slow it down. It's at 85 beats per minute. Let's do it at 70 beats per minute and see how that feels. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and so if you practice just like this, you're building up muscle memory, slow and straight. So if I'm going to put the 2-note comping, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 2, 3. I can also play it up here at the top. I can play B flat and E, 2, 3, 4, and. Now let's put a rhythm with it. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now let me put it slow and straight. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 2, 3 and 4 and. How about and 4 and? So 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Now even when I'm playing that slow and straight, I want you to hear when I get to the and of 4, I play the G along with the E and B flat. So we have this 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. And that's the tricky part, is knowing where to line up the beats. The and of 4 has the E and B flat together. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. So for those of you who are just watching, I have a whole condensed version from the membership area this morning that's going to come out this afternoon. I'm going to finish editing the video we did this morning where we talked about this bass line, and I break everything down in detail. And the only thing that I'm adding, showing you another thing I'm adding to the video this morning, I think we did this blues, but I'm going to play it just like this, where we go 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then it goes to the F chord, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then on the G chord, same thing, 2 and 3 and 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then it'll start over. 2. All right, you get the idea. I wanted to make sure I come on here and play this so I will remember when I write this PDF out for the team. I actually wrote one out this morning, which you can kind of see in your window of how messy it was, but at least help me prepare for the lesson and give people something to practice with. Let me just stop the metronome again really quickly. I want to give you a brief overview of what you have to look forward to for this video this afternoon. It's the first thing I did is I said, okay, if we're going to build a new bass line, you know, at iMusic Academy we do this one a lot. And everybody's really good with that. And even quarter note bass line where we go ba ba da 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 da. Let me try that again. That's just the quarter note bass line, but also eighth note bass line. Okay, I've done probably 27 now different bass lines that we figured out and written all of these out, but it's still good to isolate each bass line so that you get it. We could do this. We wanted to do the New Orleans type second line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So we could go ba. You get the idea, right? You just change the bass line, it totally changed the feel. If we did the Ray Charles, and I did but today's lesson is about the quarter note bass line going up to the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. This is just another bass line to add to your repertoire. And if you are liking this video, make sure you give me a like here so I can make sure that this is helpful for you guys. And also consider subscribing if you just randomly happen to see this channel. And I'm getting, it looks like an ad here, so let me just skip that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just practice that for days. It's good to practice these things because it helps you build up muscle memory. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I would want you to practice this slower than that. Notice my hand is opened up to the chord already, C, E, G, and B flat. And you can even practice playing the chord, but know that once you start playing the bass line, you're just good to go with that. 4 and 1, 2, 3. The next thing that we did this morning is we said, okay, we could use a 2-note comping chord in our right hand. We can go 1, 2, whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, whole notes. Now we can put a little rhythm. Let's do the and of 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Now let's do and of 3, and of 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Now when I taught this morning, we did everything very slow and very straight. It's very important for me to make sure that I'm doing a teaching lesson that really slows everything down. So think of this as just an overview of kind of not only what we did this morning, but also what to look forward to in the lesson that's going to come out this afternoon. So here's what I did, just a brief overview of the teaching part of it. We did 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. Even slower. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So when you play something slow and straight, you can really figure out where the beats line up. So the first part of the lesson this morning, we did the triplet. The whole lesson was about playing a slow blues and how to use this triplet as a part of your slow blues playing. So it's kind of like this. Da 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 da. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and how do you do that? So what we did first is the first exercise is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and you can play that slow and straight. Notice the G's are together. That was the first thing we did. 1 and 2 and so if you want to play this, where you just do what we would call an unmeasured trill. You're not thinking like 1 and then 2 and then you're just playing this. Your fingers going 2 and 4, and you build up some strength. But at first, we start with even eighth notes: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The second step is thinking in triplets: 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and 3 and then 4 and then 1 and let me try that again: 1 and then 2, 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and 3 and then 4 and then 1. Okay, let's talk about that for just a second. When we play the blues and we play this kind of, I'll go back to the traditional quarter note bass line and you do this. Sorry, quarter note. If I was playing even eighth notes, it would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But it doesn't have that swing feel. In order to get the swing feel, one of the best things I like to do and recommend is think of it in triplets. So if I do this: 1 and then, 2 and then, 3 and then, 4 and then. Notice that my beat, quarter note, is broken up into 3 beats: 1 and then. The first part gets the first 2 beats: 1 and then, 2 and then, 3 and then. So as it relates to what I'm trying to teach you now, and let me speed it up just a little bit. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then. And if you have trouble with that, you slow it down and you play it straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, 1 and then 2 and, relates to this triplet here. So I just showed you how you could do even eighth notes: 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. But now we've done that for a while. Now we're going to think of this: 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. And now let's apply that to this new bass line: 1 and then 2 and 3, 4 and then 3 and then 4 and then. So notice where when I get to 4 and, I'm still thinking triplet: 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then. Right here, 4 and then, 4 and then. So the first part of the triplet gets the B flat, 4 and the last part, my G's are together. So if I'm counting that, I'm going to go 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1. Let me do that again very slowly. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then right here, 3 and then 4 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2. Isn't that amazing the way that locks up if you do thinking about in quarter notes? In triplets. So 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and this morning we did that exercise: first eighth notes, 2, 3, and then triplets. Slow it down. Let me do the quarter notes. Triplet. with the thirds. And with the triplet, we have okay. The only thing we're going to add now is the actual melody. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 4, 2, and 3. And then to F, 2 and 3. All right, let me just take a look at where we are on things. I'm going to refresh this page and see if anyone's actually watching this. Oh, okay, very good. I have a couple people watching, which is really nice. Okay, in just a minute I'm going to get off this live and go ahead and work on finishing the PDFs, but my recap for you guys is this. You want to learn this new bass line, just turn on your metronome and get this going right here. 2, 3, 4, and then you add comping. 2-note comping is great. 2 and 3 and 4. Then you could do things like this. I'll do maybe beat 1 and listen. How about and of 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4. How about 1 and then 3 and 2 and 3 and so many different comping rhythms you can use, but then we're going to put it with this one idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that works over our entire blues, over C, F, and G. And then the other thing you're going to practice is this idea of this old school and I like the fingers 2 and 4, and it takes a little bit of time to build that up. But the way you're going to do it is you're going to go 8th notes at first and straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and again. And 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Next thing you're going to do is 8th notes. Triplets. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and the way you'll get that 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then. That's how you get the feel as you're thinking in triplets. Hey Vicky, good to see you and enjoyed seeing you this morning on our member stream. That was awesome. Okay, the last tip I'll give you before I hop off is when we think about locking things up in triplets, it's really important. If I was going to play this kind of lick for you and I did The way you would get this kind of thing is 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then, or even if I'm just doing our most famous lick at iMusic Academy, you go 1 and 2 and 3. If I get the feel where it sounds bluesy, it sounds laid back-ish, I'm really thinking in triplets, or at least when I first started learning this style, I'm thinking in triplets the whole time. 1 and then 2 and then. If I play it straight, practice it straight, works perfect. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Thinking in triplets. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then. And notice when you're thinking in triplets, the first beat gets the 1 and, the last one gets the 1 and then the note then, or 1 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 2. So here we go. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and. So if I was playing that lick, 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and. G. You get the idea. All right. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, make sure you like this video, and I hope that you'll tune in this afternoon to the video I'm going to upload that has all the training we did this morning from the membership area. I'm always looking for the next person that wants to join our community, and we do this thing twice a week minimum, where I do live streams Monday morning, Thursday morning, and obviously lots of bonus materials. Everything's written out too. You guys have practice plans. We do all kinds of things. So if you're even remotely interested in joining us, just you can definitely follow the link down there somewhere. I have a link, but also you can just email me, bob@imusicacademy.com or bobtaylormusic@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Vicky, so good to see you, and so good to see everybody. Happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.